Another day, another tag. Let's just get on with it. Hello and welcome to my channel, The Danish Readaholic. My name is Silka and today I will be doing the 12 Days of Christmas book tag. I was tagged to do this actually last year by Gemma over from Bookish Gem, and I didn't notice the tag until after Christmas, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna do it for Christmas. That is what we're gonna do. So let's just get started because we do have like 12 questions to get through. And today has been a day. Number 1, a partridge in a pear tree. And that is your favorite standalone. This. You Have the Reaper by Maggie Lucia. This is such a great book. And we follow Cassia, who has escaped this prison. And he then returns to his home where he finds the king and queen are living with him and his brother. On the day of his return, there is this ceremony for the new baby prince. And there is also an assassination attempt on said prince. And Cassia luckily saves the prince, and then he is trying to figure out who would kill the prince. It is such a good book, and it's just way more than that, but I'm trying to not give too much away. The next prompt is 2 turtle doves, and that is my favorite OTP or my favorite ship. I do have a couple, but I decided to go for one that's in here, and because this is a sequel and because it's very much a spoiler, I will not say who. But I can say that it is our main character, Renata. I can't say more than that. But Renata is a memory thief, and in Incendiary we basically follows her as she is infiltrating the castle or the royal family and kind of working as a spy behind their walls, but they think that she's working for them because she has in the past. So it is such a great book, such a great duology. I would definitely recommend, so yay! Next up we have 3 French Hens, and that is my favorite trilogy. Does Silke finish series? No! She does not. Well, she does, but not trilogies for some reason. I have a couple finished duologies, a couple finished series, but no finished trilogies, so I didn't really know what to pick. So I'm kind of bending the rules a little bit, because I'm gonna go for Graceling, even though it's a series now. But for a long time it was a trilogy with Graceling, Fire and Bitterblue, and then I think it was last year or the year before that we got Winterkeep, and now we're also getting Sea Sparrow. So now it has turned into a series, but it started out as like a trilogy. So Graceling is such a beautiful story in my opinion, and the fact that each book follows a new character is very, very great. At first I hated it, but now I love it. And they kind of intertwine all of the stories, so that's just super great. The first one, we follow Katza, who has a talent. They have graces, which is basically a talent for something. But she has a talent for killing, and she is then used as a spy or as an assassin, which seems obvious. But she does not like killing. But there is a lot of other stuff that happens as well. In the very first chapter, we follow Katza as she is on a secret rescue mission with a council that she has formed with a bunch of other rebels that does not like the king. So, I mean, there's just so many things with this story, and it just keeps getting better and better, and there is a plot twist. The only thing though, the summary on this, this is spoilery. I will say that. It is spoilery. And I noticed it because Jem was reading the blurb or the summary of this, and I was like, why would they put that in the summary? Because that is spoilery as fuck. On the Danish book, we have just an excerpt of the book. So of one of the main scenes from when she was young. So we have that, and that was enough to intrigue me. And then it kind of just briefly explained what a grace was and what a graceling was. And I was like, okay, I'm hooked just by that. But with this, they mention a detail about the villain that I'm like, there's only one person that fits, and it is super spoilery. So I'm sorry, Jem, that you read that. You were not supposed to read the blurb, but I didn't even know that was an issue. So if you have just the slightest bit of interest in Graceling, I would say just read it and don't look too much into it, because if that is the kind of stuff that you're told by reading about it, you will be a little bit disappointed because you will be able to predict who the villain is. And that's not fun, because that was one of the things that got me, and I was like, oh my god. Yes. Next up we have 4 calling birds, and that is my favorite fictional creature or beast. And I had no idea what to pick for this. I decided to go with the paper bird from Six Crimson Cranes. I do not remember the name. I think it's Kiki or Tiki or something along those lines. But just in general, I really like a lot of the world building and a lot of the characters in this. I will be using this for another prompt as well. But just also a lot of the creatures, and I think there's also something about a dragon and the way that this dragon is made. I just like it. So I'm gonna go for this, for that prompt. But I can't really go into specifics because I don't remember much, but I really like that character. Then we have 5 golden rings, and that is to just show 5 golden books. And at first I thought it was like golden as in they're perfect 10 out of 10. But no, it is golden in the sense of gold. So we have The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. I have not read this, but I'm still intrigued by it. I really like this cover. Very gold, very shiny. Next up we have Witches Steeped in Gold. I haven't read this and I'm not really wanting to anymore. I've only heard bad things about it, and yeah, but it's still gold. Well, mostly green, but there's a lot of gold foiling. Fireboard? Is that gold? It's gold to me, so I'll count it. I did really enjoy this. I like the dual timeline, dual perspective. It wasn't as good as I had hoped. From Blood and Ash, once again with the shit ton of foiling. I haven't read this yet, but my best friend has just started the series. I think she's almost done actually. And she's like, read it now. And this is probably the most gold book I have, which is also a book that I'm super excited for. Then we have 6 Geese Laying, and there's like a parenthesis saying Rotten Egg, and that is my least favorite book. It's been a while since I've talked about how much I don't like this. It's supposed to be like after the events of Beauty and the Beast, like the movie. And it's just like we're going into the French Revolution, and that is so fine, like so interesting. But it's done in a way where I don't find it interesting. It's just a lot of politics. It's a lot of politics. And I can't. It was very, very boring to me. The reason I still have it is because it's absolutely beautiful, and I want to collect the series because I know that they will continue doing like after the events of whatever Disney movie, and also because it was a gift. And I know it's stupid to keep things for that reason only, but I don't care. Next up we have 7 Swans of Swimming, and that is to show a book with water on the cover. I kind of went for this one. I feel like it's water. It should be. So yeah, To Kill a Kingdom, Alexandra Christo. Haven't read it yet, but I am actually really, really excited for it. Next up we have 8 Maids and Milking, and that is a fictional food you would like to try. They make a lot of food in this, and it all sounds delicious, and I honestly don't remember much of it, like what it actually was, but there is some kind of soup that our main character makes, and that sounds really good. And they also talk about something, maybe it's like persimmons or something, and they sound really nice. All the food from this book. Next up we have 9 Ladies Dancing, and that is a favorite dance between 2 characters. I didn't know where to go with this because I was like, is it like an actual dance that we're talking about? Because I don't remember any dances. But I decided to kind of go for These Violent Delights. Not because there is any dance, like dance, but because they kind of, you know, dance around each other, and the tension that there is between the 2 main characters is just phenomenal. They're also one of my favorite ships. Let's just put that out there. Yeah, I don't know. I think that is how the question is supposed to be understood, but I'm not 100% sure. So, but that is what I'm going with. I'm going with These Violent Delights. If you don't know These Violent Delights, follow Roma and Juliet. It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling in Shanghai in 1926. And there's basically this plague kind of taking over, and Roma and Juliet realize that they have to work together in order to stop this, because both have information that the other one needs, and both are able to procure more information that the other one needs, and that they can't get themselves for reasons. Some of the reasons being that they're from rivalry gangs, and we love it. We're almost at the end. Woo! Cool. So I'm gonna be doing the next 2 together. So we have 10 Lords Leaping and 11 Pipers Piping. Sorry, I couldn't remember. And that is my favorite book-to-movie adaptation and my favorite book-to-movie adaptation soundtrack. This bitch. Okay, so favorite book-to-movie adaptation got to be this. I love the book. with a burning passion, but the movie is just so good. It's the best. And the soundtrack for this, I listen to it when I read. How could I not choose this? I mean, it's Coraline. Chef's kisses. Honorable mention though, and once again I'm saying this because I'm not completely sure and I haven't read it, but Sinbad, I think it's in 1001 Arabian Nights. I think it's one of the stories in there about Sinbad, the Legend of the Seven Seas. That movie is a 10 out of 10 and the soundtrack to that is even better than Coraline, so I needed to mention that for the soundtrack part because I swear to God I'm dead. I'm deceased. It is perfection. If you haven't seen that movie, watch it. If you haven't listened to the soundtrack, do yourself a favor and find the soundtrack. If I am to mention one song from that soundtrack, listen to the one that's called Syracuse. So good. So good. And finally, we have 12 Drummers Drumming, and that is your favorite book ending. Oh, I can't speak on this because spoilers. In this we follow, what's her name again? Kiva. The issue I have with this is that in this book, which I love, we have Kiva, and in my favorite book of all time, well, one of my favorites of all time, Blade of Secrets, we have Siva. So I mix them up a lot. But it's Kiva in this one, and she is the prison healer of this prison. That is how she kind of makes do. Like she's the healer basically. So she makes sure that every single inmate that enters the prison is fine, or as fine as they can be, and if anybody gets injured they go to her. And then one day there is a rebel queen that enters the prison, and she then has to go through the trial of ordeal, but she is in no state to do that because she is very much unconscious, and if she doesn't do it she will die. So what does Kiva do? She takes her place in the trials. Oh, how I love this book. If you haven't already, do yourself the favor and read it. That was the tag. So, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments what your favorite book ending was. And what is your favorite book-to-movie adaptation soundtrack? If you just want to let me know that you're here but don't know what to comment, you can always leave a green heart. If you like this video, please hit the like icon. And if you want to see more of my bookish content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And until I see you next time, bye!